Hey, Elvis fans, good afternoon. Welcome to another video in my Elvis vinyl bootleg series. Today I have oh, kind of what I would consider a special video. This particular record, there's a lot of confusion about. A lot of people buy a copy of this record thinking they're getting something that's really, really rare, but it's not. Uh, it was just copied from another record, not really that well. And it's really not rare, but a lot of people unknowingly buy it thinking it is. And I'm, of course, talking of the infamous Elvis live on stage Hilton Hotel 1972. This is a 12-inch version. There were 1,000 of these printed with the black and white cover. And then there was another 500 printed in with a yellow cover and 500 printed with a pink cover. This is the version that Sam Thieker did. When he was done making his, he sent all the material to Richard Miner from Florida, and Richard was the one responsible for the ones with the yellow and pink covers. So there were 2,000 of these pressed, which for bootleg collectors, 2,000 is a pretty high number. So this is the front cover. Mine is pretty beat up, which is fine. The cover anyway is pretty beat up, which is fine with me because it's just a cheap copy of much more rare bootleg. This is the back cover. Again, very cheaply done. You can barely see or make out any of the of what the picture is supposed to be, which in this case it was taken from the 1970 Phoenix, Arizona show. This is when Elvis first started going back to touring after the Las Vegas shows. And really they just took the graphics from the original 10-inch version and put them on this one. So nothing special about this record at all. Again, this is the 12-inch version. If you buy the 12-inch version thinking that you've hit a home run, you haven't. There's 2,000 of these out there. So again, for bootleg standards, it's really not that rare of an album. The record itself, this particular copy comes with a yellow label with black printing. Again, very cheaply done. There's nothing exciting about it. Doesn't even give you the song titles. Really no other information. Just live on stage, Hilton Hotel 1972. Another quick thing. Admittedly, when the guys that did the book Jailhouse Rock reviewed this record, they didn't have a copy of the original 12-inch. All they had was the cover. So they didn't have a copy of the record, so they couldn't give information about what was actually on it. Same music that's on this one is on the 10-inch, which is to say it's the RCA versions from the Aloha from Hawaii show and Madison Square Garden. So there's absolutely nothing unreleased, which, in that case, this would make it almost more of a pirated album than a bootleg, because, again, the material on here is the same as what you get on the albums Aloha from Hawaii and Madison Square Garden. Same stuff. The only really rare thing on here is at the very beginning, there's about a 1-minute advertisement for the Las Vegas shows, which is kind of neat, but I wouldn't go out of my way to find it. So, again, this is the 12-inch version of this album. There was 1,000 of these with the black and white cover, 500 with the pink cover, and 500 with the yellow cover. Not rare at all, not worth the money people are paying for it. I've seen this record go for up to, I think the highest I've seen it go for is like $200. Why people are paying that much for it, I'm not sure, other than they think they're getting a rare record when they're not. I paid $20 for this. So that's about realistically what it's worth. Now, for the special part of it, that's the 10-inch version. And this one was actually the third printing. A little history behind this. A guy named Vince Everett from England is the one that made these. He was a really big Elvis fan, and he just basically made these for friends. Nothing new on them, but it's kind of a neat thing to have. The other one comes with an orange cover. That was the first release. And then a red cover. That was the second release. The material's the same. The labels that he primarily used were Original Sound and Sun. So those are the two most common versions of this one. This one with the tan cover is by far the most rare of the three pressings that Vince made. The pictures are the same as what you get on the 12-inch. You can see here the difference on the back cover. It's a lot easier to see it, Elvis getting on stage here, than this one. It's really dark. It's really dark, black and white. So this one is actually, even though it's homemade, that's the superior one. So that's what the cover of this particular 10-inch looks like. And as far as my collection goes, I've got this one and then the Christmas show bootleg that was originally a reel-to-reel tape that RCA sent to radio stations that had some Christmas music on it, and then somebody counterfeited it and put it on a 10-inch. So this one and that are the only 10-inch records I have. And the only reason I got this is because of its rarity. It's one of those that no matter what you collect, if you have a chance to get one of these, you go after it. Now, further making mine super rare, and I'll get this as close as I can. This is on the Emmy disc label. Again, Vince did most of his on either a label that was Original Sound or Sun. When I first got this, a couple of serious bootleg collectors contacted me to try to buy it from me because they had never seen this version before. So this is a new one out there. It's possibly the only one that he did on the Emmy disc label. Now, what does that really mean? For me, not much. I'm not a person that, for instance, the Rock My Soul bootleg has 36 different versions of that. I've got just one, and that's the first pressing. This one, I would make an exception. I would love to have every different version of these. And supposedly, when Vince was making these, he only made like 20 or less of each ones. So that makes it even more rare. They're also pressed on acetate rather than vinyl. So that makes it even more rare that these survived, because acetate is super brittle. It doesn't take much to break these at all. If you drop it, it's probably going to break. So they're extremely fragile. And again, this is really rare. So if you're an Elvis collector and you ever see one of these for sale and it's in your budget, buy it. I've been collecting somewhere for the past 25, 30 years. This is only the third one I've ever seen for sale. There was two of them that recently were on the market. One sold on eBay that went for about $800 US. And then there was another one, the Rockhurst auction. They did a auction at the end of May, and another one went on there and it sold for like $630. So great little record to have just for its rarity. Don't buy it thinking you're going to get anything from September of 1972 at the Hilton Hotel, because you're not. It's all music that was taken from Aloha in Madison Square Garden. So if you've got those two records, you've got pretty much everything on this one. But again, due to the rarity of it, go out of your way to find one. It's just an amazing item to have for your collection. So, in closing, 12-inch version, not worth anything. Don't pay $100 for it. If I would have been able to get this for 50, I wouldn't have bought it. Like I said, I paid $20 for it. It's got condition issues. It's missing a corner here. It's dirty. There's some seam splits. So even if it was in mint condition, I wouldn't have paid that much for it. So if you've got one of the 12-inch versions, the only rarity would be if you've got one with the pink jacket or the yellow jacket, just because Richard pressed only 500 of each of those. But that said, it's still, don't pay up for it because it's not worth it. The 10-inch one, that's the one where all the money is. If you have a 10-inch version, that's a rare collectible. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. If there is any particular bootleg album that you'd like to see, just put that in the comments. I'll be happy to do a video about it. I think my next one is going to be a little bit different. Rather than show some records, I'm going to show the advertising that went into these. People have asked, where did you guys buy this stuff when it first came out? Obviously there wasn't any internet, and doing social networking was all done by phone call and letters for the most part. So I'm going to go over some of the old ads and catalogs and things that people put out. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Be looking for my next one, and have a great day.